All right, cool. So hi everyone, my name is Hadley Reuter. I am a senior right now at OSU studying MIS. I have worked at University of Zion and these awesome people for about 2.5 years. So since freshman year, I've been doing anything from literally like restocking our awesome cereal bar to doing actual data work in Tableau and on the BI business intelligence. I'm really excited to talk to you guys today. We're going to go over a little bit just about like the deep dive into Tableau. It's going to be kind of intimidating probably and scary, but don't worry because I'm recording this so we can all go back and watch it and see kind of how I go about things. Cool. So these are some just like initial things. So Tableau is a company that has a lot of different products that are used both for like hosting and publishing data. But today we're going to focus on Tableau Desktop, which is just a way that we're able to visualize data, so build charts, graphs, that type of thing. It'll make a lot more sense when we actually get into the tool. There is a free download. I know some people had some trouble maybe with it. If you have it downloaded, go ahead and like open it up on your machine. You're not going to have the exact same data I do right now, but you can kind of click around, get familiar with how the buttons look, that type of thing, and then later you'll be getting the data from Jerry. So today we are going to learn how to build a scatter plot, a bar chart, and a pie chart. And then we are going to combine those things into a dashboard. And a dashboard is really just like a combination of different charts. Then we're going to talk about kind of like what Zion said, making those conversations, drawing insights, figuring out important things from the data, telling stories, that type of thing. And then after we do that, then I'm going to tell you a little bit about like questions that I have, resources that I use in my job to like get inspired or learn how to do what we're about to do. Cool. So let's do it. I feel really bad. I'm gonna have to stand behind this podium because I need a mouse. But we're just gonna kind of go into how this would look for you guys. So it's gonna be pretty informal. So whenever you download from that link, the free student version, Tableau is going to pop up hopefully on just your, probably your programs list, that type of thing. I have it here just on my desktop, so we'll double click, get into Tableau. And while this is loading up, as Zion kind of just like walked you guys through, I downloaded the Excel sheet of the survey responses that you guys just took. So I have that also stored and ready. It's super easy to download. That will also be sent out to you guys as well. Why isn't this? Oh, here we go. I didn't actually click on it. Great. Okay. So this is Tableau. These are all of my like recently opened workbooks. You guys probably aren't going to have all of that. That's okay. This is perfect. So this is your home screen. This is where you go to kind of just get started in Tableau. So all of these things that are here in the middle of these workbooks are, like I said, just things that I've recently opened. But these should show up on your version whenever you open it. These are sample workbooks that Tableau just kind of builds for you automatically. It's automatically in the program, and they're just there for you to kind of like get inspiration from, see how they break down data, that type of thing. It's just a way to learn and kind of play around in the tool. So on this left-hand side, we have a connect file. So as you can see, we have Tableau can connect to so many different types of data sources. That's one of the things that it's really known for, is just like being so versatile, being able to connect to lots of different types of things so you can gain insight from lots of things. So it can connect to files and servers. So on the top left where my mouse is, you can see we can connect to a file. We can click Excel. So a text file is like a CSV file. We can also even read it straight from PDFs, statistical files, those types of things. Really, there's a lot of different types of files that aren't even on that list that you can also connect to. And then down, these are the servers that Tableau can connect to. There are a lot of them. This is how Tableau connects to like live data. So anything that's like refreshing constantly, we'd want to connect to a server. One that you guys might be familiar with is Google Sheets. That might possibly be something that we would use. What we're going to talk about in this class today, though, is just Excel. That's what you guys are going to use for your assignment and any like projects that you have in class. It's mostly what I use too. I have connected to a few servers, but Excel is really kind of just easy to download easily and plug in. Also, just a side note, if you ever get lost and overwhelmed, you can click, there's always going to be this Tableau sparkle is what they call it in the top left. Click that, it will bring you back here. Everything will be right in the world. You'll be back to where you feel comfortable. Cool. So we are going to click and select that we want to connect to a Microsoft Excel. And I have those, like I said, those class responses already downloaded on my machine and stored on my desktop. So I can just click on that file and go ahead and open those responses in Tableau. So this is super cool. As soon as you connect to that data source, Tableau brings you to this data source tab, and you are able to see all of the data that's even like in that Excel sheet. So this big thing that kind of like dominates the screen is just a preview of our data. We're able to see even like what types of data sources these are. So I know you guys probably haven't had too much like data classes or that type of thing, but something simple is you have different data types. So we can have a string, which is just a series of text, or a number value, which is something that you can like do math on, or something that's a number. So here we have some string values, and then we also have some numbers over here that you guys said, minutes on social media and your interest level in marketing analytics. So one thing that I forgot to say earlier, Tableau just kind of brings in automatically this sheet here. If our Excel file that we have connected to had multiple sheets, they would show up just right on that left-hand side under there. And you would be able to, if you needed to, join or blend on those sheets, that kind of thing. That's kind of too complicated for what we're doing today, but definitely as easy and possible to do. Cool. So now we're going to do what Tableau says and go to this down here. This is where we will kind of navigate as far as like going to sheets, building sheets, and then building that dashboard that I talked about at the end, which is just a combination of sheets. Great, so we're going to click down here, and Tableau gives us this honestly kind of intimidating big white space. And we're like, oh gosh, we have to fill this whole thing up. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. But it makes it really easy. It lays out things in a very instinctual way. So all of our tools that we're going to use to fill up this white space are over on the left side, and they are separated quite nicely for us. They are put over here in dimensions and measures. And this kind of has to do with that data type that I was talking about earlier. So dimensions are up here, and they are our data. All has our dimensions with the ABC icon, so that means that they're a string. So the things that we use dimensions for are categorical. So dimensions are how we put things into buckets. Dimensions are how you break things up into different sections. So we're going to use what classification you are. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. We're going to use personality type, extrovert, introvert. This can also be things like true, false. Booleans are another type of dimension. So then down here we have measures, and measures are how you fill up the buckets. So these are numbers. These are things that you use quantitatively to aggregate, do math on. So numbers, super simple. For us, we really only have two: your interest level and your average minutes on social media today. Cool. So that was a lot. Now we're going to start building our worksheets. So Tableau, you kind of, I mean, personally, I kind of felt like a child at the beginning when I started using Tableau, because it's very point and click and drag. It's very instinctual, feel kind of childlike almost. So we just literally pick up this little thing from over here and drag it wherever we want it. So I'm going to put gender on my rows shelf, and that Tableau is going to say, okay, perfect, we built a chart with gender. Now what do you want to put in it? So I'm going to say that I want to put just the number of records. So this is an automatically generated field that Tableau uses. And I do this all the time. I'm just going to make this fill up the whole thing because it's easier to see. So number of records is just an automatically generated thing that Tableau does, and it's just a count of how many things are in that. So we have in the last 2 classes, we've had less females than males. Cool. So whenever it is time for us to build another sheet, we just come down here where it says new worksheet and get started that way. So for this second sheet, we're going to do another bar chart. This time I'm going to do classification on rows and then interest level on columns. So another really good practice whenever you're using Tableau is to go ahead and sort your bar chart from greatest to least or least to greatest. Either way, it really helps people to be able to understand really quickly, okay, who's dominating this bar chart and who's at the bottom. So right now it's kind of hard to tell, like, oh my gosh, what order are these in? So Tableau makes it really easy to go and sort your data. They have these fancy little buttons up here, so you're able to click ascending or descending. Yeah, I got it right. Cool. So we're going to say, descending. So we are very easily able to say that juniors as a whole are the most interested in this class. But something that's kind of tricking us is the aggregation that's happening automatically on our interest level. So Tableau thinks that we should add up or sum up. So up here we have this sum is happening. And so it's saying for juniors, you have this total amount of interest level. I think that that's probably maybe a little good to know, but I think it would be better if we did our average interest level so that we would be able to see, okay, actually what the average interest level is between the classifications. That's just saying, like, instead of adding up all of the interest levels and putting them in a bucket, it's saying just aggregating it differently. Instead of adding them, it's averaging all those values. Again, I'm going to do this because I just like it. Okay. Also, if you ever have any questions, feel free to stop me. Totally cool. So now we're going to build a scatter plot. Something that is interesting about scatter plots is they need 2 measures. So scatter plots are built by putting like a number on the bottom, the axis, and the vertical one. So since we really only took data for 2 of those, that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to drag my interest level 2 rows and my minutes on social media 2 columns. I'm going to do what I did earlier, thinking back to when we made this an average instead of a sum. It just kind of makes it make more sense. And so this is great. It says, okay, so the average interest level by the total minutes on social media. Here it is. The scatter plot's really cool, right? It only has 1 point of data. So we need to tell Tableau how we want this to be broken down. What detail, what level of detail, what granularity do we want to see this data at? So in my opinion, I think we should see it by everyone who took the survey. So Typeform does this really cool thing where it just assigns a survey ID so that you're able to anonymously break down data by each survey. So we're going to use that. So we'll just click and drag survey ID to this detail field right here on our marks card. Our marks card is where we do just a lot of design and that type of thing. So we'll drag it here to detail, and then that will separate, okay, now we actually have this broken down by each survey. Super cool. So it seems like one person spends quite a lot of time on social media. Who's this? Cool. So another best practice whenever you're building scatter plots is to make, first of all, we're going to change our mark type to a circle. So that's just going to make it fill in the circle, not just the outline of the circle. And I personally can't really see all those, so I'm going to turn the size up a little bit. And making this opacity here in the marks card down, I usually do around 60%, makes it possible for us to see, okay, where there's actually duplications of data. So before we turned that opacity down, we weren't really able to see that there are 2 data points under here. This just kind of makes it more instinctual of being able to see where that data actually is and how many we have on each spot. Okay, super cool. So let's build another sheet. Only 2 more. So now we are going to build another bar chart and kind of break it down by personality. So we're going to drag this personality type to rows, and that'll give us our chart automatically, and we're going to populate it by the minutes that people spend on social media. So it seems like, so I'm going to do this entire view thing so we can all see this. It seems like extroverts spend more time than introverts, but again, thinking back to that aggregation, Tableau is summing up all of that. So we want to make sure that we are fair, that if there's more extroverts in this class, obviously they're going to have more minutes on social media, that type of thing. So let's go and make this aggregation changed to an average. And then we're able to see, oh, actually, introverts spend an average more time on social media than extroverts. It's interesting to me. Do you think that that's true? Do you think that introverts, people spend more time on their phones and less time actually talking to people? I definitely do, and I'm an introvert. Cool. So now we're going to build a pie chart. Pie charts aren't my favorite, but whenever you have a set of data that allows you to use a pie chart effectively, I think it works. So one of my biggest rules is don't build a pie chart that has more than 5 colors in it. It's way too hard for the human eye to see a million colors. You're not able to get good insights from it. So since we have that favorite social media question, I think that that would be a good way for us to use a pie chart. So to start out, we kind of build a pie chart differently from the beginning. So we're going to grab that favorite social media field and just bring it to color. And Tableau is going to say, okay, here's a color for each of the favorite social medias. And then we're going to change our mark type in here to be a pie chart. And Tableau will automatically assign a pie chart to this thing. So it says, okay, of all the social medias, there are 4, so each of them get a separate color, and they're all the same size right now. We have to specify what we want the pie chart to be sized by. So I think that it would be best if we just sized it by the number of records and drag that to angle, and that'll help you figure out how to size each of those angles. Cool. So as you can see, Instagram wins. Instagram is a favorite social media. I can't really tell how many exactly percent, but it looks, okay, 47. A lot of people that like Instagram. So a best practice when you're building a pie chart is to make it really easy for your user to draw insight, answer those questions, make conversations off of stuff. So I don't know about you guys, but it was hard for me to go from the pie chart to the legend, back to the pie chart to see how big it is, to the legend to see the next color, and then back to the pie chart. It was a lot. So we can take all of that away by just adding labels directly onto our pie charts. And that's super easy to do. So the labels that I want to put are just what's over here on my, my legend that was automatically populated by Tableau. So I'm going to grab favorite social media and take it to label, and that'll just make it super easy. You don't have to go back and forth. It also could be cool if we wanted to put the number on our label as well. So whose favorite social media is Facebook? Nope, I'm just kidding. So this is super cool. We're able to see the number, but I also think that it would be good if we saw the percentage. Number's cool and everything, but a pie chart, you think 100% dividing it. So we can just come in here. This is a little bit complicated, but this is just called a quick table calculation. So it's kind of like a calculated field, but it's really easy, and Tableau makes it super instinctual for you. So we'll come to this thing that we just put on label, and we'll say, actually, I don't want it to be a sum. I want it to be a percent of total. So then that'll just change for us this number to be a percent of this total, everything that's on the graph. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Cool. You can also come in here to format your label. I think that it should be a little bit bigger, and maybe this should be bolded. There we go. Great. So now comes the big exciting part. We're going to build a dashboard with the things that we've just built. So come down here and we're able to see that we have this new worksheet that we've been using. Now just one button right over to the right, we're going to use new dashboard. And Tableau kind of does the same thing that we're used to with worksheets. It gives us big white spaces. Like here, this is your masterpiece. This is where you're going to make this huge, awesome thing. And it gives us the tools that we're going to use to do that on the left. It's very user-friendly. It's very the same. You're also going to pick them up and drag them kind of like a child over to your dashboard. So I want to start with that gender bar chart that we used at the beginning. And I'm going to put it just on my dashboard. And Tableau will automatically size things for you. So if I wanted to use that classification bar chart, yeah, we'll bring it down here. And then I also want to use that pie chart that we just built, and I'll bring it right over here. Tableau automatically brings that legend for us. We don't really need it because we just put our labels on our pie chart, so we can just remove it. Cool. So this is our dashboard. Look at all this information we can see at once. Beautiful. So that's awesome and everything, but one of the ways that Tableau is really good about helping you drive conversations and tell stories and draw insight is by filtering live time on your dashboard. So one of the best and most awesome things about Tableau is this little button right here. So whenever you just like click on a sheet on your dashboard, it'll pop up on the top right, and you can click Use as Filter. And when it fills up with white, that means it's on. So now we're able to say, okay, I want to use this sheet as a filter. So whenever I click and say, okay, Instagram, now we're able to filter all the other data that we've used on just the people who said their favorite social media is Instagram. So we're able to see that even though there are more males total in this class and the last class combined, females dominate in whoever said that their favorite social media is Instagram. Also, we're able to see kind of the class breakdown by females. So just to undo that, you just click back on the pie chart wherever you clicked before. So if we want to turn this on for all of our sheets, it can be used to drive some really cool conversations. So say we just wanted to break this down by only males. We would be able to see that a lot more males use Twitter and Facebook as opposed to just Instagram, that type of thing. We're also able to see that, okay, for just sophomores, what's their breakdown? Okay, so the person that uses Facebook isn't a sophomore. But it's, yeah, you're right. Super cool. So do you guys have any questions? This is our dashboard. I know I just like flew through that like crazy. That was a lot of information. So, oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you go to like a server, you put a server on that, and it's constantly updating the data. Does it update on your dashboard at all, or do you have to continue?
So it depends on the type of connection you have. That's always going to be my answer. It depends. One of the best things about Tableau that I'm going to talk about in a little bit is this thing called Tableau Public, and it's where you can like share things online. So you can select on Tableau Public kind of how often you want your data to be refreshed. It also depends on your server and how often your server is like pushing data out. So we'll talk more about it later if you have like a specific example. Yeah.
So whenever you imported data, did it have to be in a specific format for Tableau to be able to like read it and set those different?
No. So the question was like, whenever I imported this data, did it have to be in a specific format for Tableau to say, oh, this is a number and this is a letter? No. Tableau's smart. I can show you kind of the Excel sheet that I uploaded, but basically, it's just how it came out of Typeform. So it's column headers and then build any column. So no, you just import it. So this is what the data looked like before I put it in Tableau. So you have your column headers up there with your ID name, that type of thing. Just kind of looks the exact same as Tableau did it. And it can do the same thing that it did on this Excel on like even PDFs. If you have like a PDF of an Excel, it can do that too. So no, it's pretty smart. Cool, great questions. Anything else? If not, I have a little bit more. Okay. So this is our dashboard. I think it's awesome. I think it's beautiful. just to kind of finish up, I have some more resources for you all as you go out. Oh, yes.
Do you have to do something to save it?
Keep forgetting to do that. Okay, so let's do this first and then we'll come back. So to save this awesome masterpiece, it's very instinctual. You all know how to do this. So we'll just go to File, Save As. And I'm going to choose that, oh, perfect folder. This is just my Tableau dashboard. And whenever, the one thing that you have to remember when you're saving Tableau workbooks is to pick your file type. So Tableau kind of has two file types. It's kind of getting too deep into it, but a TWB, which is what's kind of at the top and usually selected by Tableau, is just a file type that doesn't include the data in it. So it's like you're turning in this Word document that doesn't have any words in it. So whenever you're saving a Tableau file, always, always, always choose the Tableau packaged workbook. That just means that it is including the data with it, so that whenever you send it or share it with someone, they have the data populated in it. So always, always Tableau packaged workbook. And then you can just save it to your computer, anywhere where you want. And then you can upload that file. I think you turn it on Canvas, yeah? You can email that file, you can turn it on Canvas, you can do, it's just a file now. So, the only thing is, if you send it to people that don't have Tableau, they'll have to download Tableau Reader, which is free for everyone, and it's just a way to open Tableau files. So you can't just open a Tableau file if you don't have. If you have desktop, you totally can. But if you don't have Reader, that's another thing you might need to tell someone if you email someone else. Okay, cool. Okay, so back to this. These are just some more resources that I have for you guys as you're building your assignments. Whenever I have questions or I'm at work and I need an inspiration or something, I go to Tableau Public, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's kind of nerdy, but it's like a social media for Tableau users. So you can have profiles, you can follow people, like things, send links, that kind of thing. This is, what I've linked is to the Tableau Viz of the Day. So this is kind of a page where people post all these awesome vizzes that are super complicated and beautiful and aesthetically pleasing and very insightful. And they win this competition and they get to be the Viz of the Day. Another thing you can do is look up specific people. So this is my friend Keith. He works at Interworks and he just has some super, super cool vizzes. He's very key with design. His vizzes are awesome. So, another thing, of course, I have to plug Interworks blog. So I am an employee at Interworks, and I use the Interworks blog all the time to answer just random questions that I have. I'm like, oh, I want to build a specific chart type, but I don't know how to do it. There's a lot of blog posts that's just walking you straight through how to build specific types of charts or that type of thing. Also, it's a really good resource if you want to learn just what people do with Tableau in real life, that type of thing. And then this is the last one, kind of boring, but it's just kind of Stack Overflow, but just for Tableau. It's just Tableau community forum. You can ask people questions, search keywords, see what other people have asked, what has been answered, that type of thing. And then lastly, me. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I love, I can help you guys if you have specific questions about anything. You're more than welcome to email me, that type of thing. I'm sure Zion too. So, cool. If you don't have anything else, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Some of you might remember earlier in the semester, I made an announcement about the availability of an internship, and this was the company